Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Midtown USA. This is episode number 17, and we've got our hired worker just basically bringing the semi and the new belly dump trailer around for us, and he is going to go ahead and proceed to field number 16, which has obviously been the talk of everything that we have planned for this map, and everything is to get the wheat in and get that field turned around and everything. And so we have obviously that's kind of been what the whole deal is with this map, and so we are finally at a point to where that we can begin working on that goal as it is. So we have our harvester that is already out in the field, and he is headed up that way. He's going to be doing one courseland around the field, and then or one headland around the field, sorry, and then he will be coming around and then doing up and downs on this end. So we are going to basically serve as the auger driver, the auger wagon driver, moving the grain from the combine over to the semi. And we have opted to, now the semi will position himself right there, and so he will be ready to receive our grain here momentarily. And then, like I said, the up and downs, once he finishes his headland around the field, then he'll begin up and downs on this side of the field, moving towards the main farm. So we are opting to go ahead and leave a straw swath on this particular field here. Most likely we will do, my plan is at least, and I'm going to change my mind, or I'm at least going to reserve the right to change my mind. Not sure why we don't have a straw swath through here, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm not real sure what is going on. It looks like it might be sort of behaving the same way that it was doing on grass just the other day when we were mowing up on the other field up there. It was doing something really weird with the way that it would position the grass, and I think I cut some of that out of the video just simply because I wasn't sure what was going on. I might have talked about it. Honestly, I can't remember if I did or not, but it was on the episode, maybe it was on the episode, let's see, this is episode 17, so I think it was probably on episode 15, where we cut grass up in the field number 12, I think it was. And but anyway, the plan is, as I was saying, the plan is to take grain off of or take straw off of this field, and let's go ahead and empty him, and then he's going to do a square turn there, just so that we try not to waste any, where we try not to waste any straw at all, and try not to waste any wheat as well. So anyway, let me get this plan. Let me talk about this plan. So field number 16 is the field that we're currently harvesting. It's fairly square, okay? Field number 17 right over here is this sort of oblong with a dog leg left position to it, and it's a pretty good sized field. I'm thinking what we're going to do is, once we get field number 16 harvested, we will probably move over to field number 15. We'll move over to field number 15, which is the barley field, and I'm thinking, fingers crossed, that maybe, just maybe, between field number 16 and field number 15, as far as straw is concerned, that might be enough straw that we won't need to bale straw off of field number 17. At least that is my plan. And we're basically going to sort of experiment with that by simply ensuring that we're doing a course play route on this field number 16, so it will be very easy for us to go ahead and set up our tractor pulling our baler to go ahead and follow this course play route and bale the straw. So that's plan number one. And plan number B is we'll see, we'll see how much straw we get off of this field and what that equates into bales, and then we'll make a decision as to whether or not we're going to bale the big field as well. So if we don't need to bale it, we can always just blow the chaff into the soil and not have to worry about that. So hope everyone is having a wonderful day. We're just going to kind of hang out here and follow the combine around this portion of the map, or this portion of the field here, since we have that fenced in area with our satellite dish and everything. We can't come up beside it there, but it's okay. He is at 52%, so he will not have a problem at all. And hopefully what will be able to happen is he can go up and down, and then hopefully we can then empty as he's proceeding back up again, without having to empty him by stopping and going into the crop and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what he's going to do. He should probably cut over in just a moment, and then I believe I got him set up on just one headland. So yeah, he's going to buzz on down to the end there and then proceed up the field. And you gotta love when a plan works just as it should, and so far so good. Everything is working quite well. He's only going to do a half a row, I think, up this direction, and then hopefully that will sort itself out. Really loving some of the new combine features with Courseplay. I really need to probably get myself busy, get myself in a situation where I can record some of the how-to videos on some of the changes, because some of the changes I really believe will work out fantastic, where we have had some complications in the past with especially in this process where you want to have maybe multiple combines, 2 or 3 combines harvesting a single field, and you don't want the combines to get ahead of each other, which often used to happen. And so with the combine features that are built into the newest, at least the newest developer version, beta version of Courseplay, you don't have that problem anymore. And it's very, very nice. It's a very, very nice feature. And if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and do that. And again, I will do my best to try to get some how-to videos made and get them on that one YouTube section there with all the rest of my FarmSim 17 how-to videos on Courseplay. And we'll go ahead and dump. We're at 27,000. I believe the capacity of that tipper is still quite large. I do have more realistic turned off, and I will explain why I have more realistic turned off. Is because the more realistic mod, as I have often said, as I've said several times in this series, because this was the series that I started using the more realistic mod. Once again, I tried it out on Lawfolds, and I also there we go. I keep forgetting that I have to lower the pipe just a little bit to be able to get it to work. But when you do get it lowered, when you figure out what it is that you're supposed to do, it basically does end up working the way it's supposed to in the end. All right, and that is done. I think he'll probably wait until we bring him another load or so. Hopefully the combine will get on a full row this next time when he comes up. Anyway, hope everyone is doing just fine as you're watching this video. I will just apologize because you've only actually you've only actually seen, or I've only actually pushed out one video of each series this week. One video on Tazewell, one video on Thornton Farm, and one video of Midtown USA. I have made a decision as to what the future holds for the series, for the 3 series. Basically, I am going to be wrapping up Thornton Farm. That is going to come probably sooner rather than later. I am also going, once Thornton Farm is done, I will probably go to 4 videos per week, which is, I think, fair, and I think that is something that would be basically 2 episodes of Midtown USA and 2 episodes of Tazewell County, and that will better fit my schedule, and I think in the long run be better for me, because you know, what causes burnout? You know, especially with a game or with anything. I mean, burnout can occur with anything. Burnout can occur with our jobs. The difference being, though, with our jobs is sort of it's sort of a requirement. I mean, we have to work. For those of us that have to work, and I'm certainly in that category, I have to work. I need to work, knock on wood, and God willing, and the creek don't rise, and all that kind of stuff that they say down in the South. I want to be able to work for another 10 years, and then I'll be at a point to where I think that my wife and I can retire, and those are our goals, obviously, and I think those are good goals for us to have. And so, but you know, obviously we can get burned out with our jobs and everything, but it's a little harder for you to sort of put that aside and say, well, I'm just not going to go do my job for a while because I'm burned out and everything. The other thing is that, well, with burnout with like say a video game, for example, I'm not getting burned out on the game itself. I still enjoy the time that I play Farm Sim 17, but also I enjoy ATS and ETS 2. As I've said before, I also enjoy my flight sim stuff as well. And so with all that said, I think that, you know, trying to record and produce 6 episodes a week, and that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, has just been a bit too much. I think it's been too much, and I'm certainly, you know, man enough to recognize the fact that, you know, I can't keep up with this sort of schedule. Even working with a backlog of video, and I've often talked about that, and I've often talked about how that is a comfort to me, because there are times that I want to come home from work, and you know, we usually have dinner. I kick back in my lazy boy for an hour or so and watch some TV with the wife, watch a movie or something like that. And then I come downstairs to my basement office and usually record an episode or play ATS or ETS2, or just play Farm Sim if I need to do off-camera work and stuff like that. And I quite enjoy that, but there are days that, just like you, in the real world, that either you don't feel like it, or you don't, or you got other things that you need to do. Maybe you have work commitments or stuff like that. And so, trying to do 6 episodes a week doesn't allow a lot of room. It doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room for me to be feeling a bit blah if I'm just not feeling it. And I think that there were a few videos that I've made over the last couple of weeks where I was perhaps a little bit blah, just a little bit off, a little bit tired, and I think that showed. I think that carried over into the video itself. So I need to, you know, I need to protect myself from getting into a situation where I just become, you know, so burned out on the game that I have to kind of step away from it for a while. And unfortunately, you know, I really, and this is all pretty much my preference, folks. You know, I have tried putting other games on my channel. I have, you know, I basically said to myself, maybe, you know, a year ago that I didn't want to necessarily just be a Farm Sim 17 channel. I wanted to have other stuff on my channel, other content on my channel and everything. But quite honestly, I don't enjoy producing video episodes and content of those other games. ATS and ETS2, that's my time. That's kind of my ability to sort of sit back, drive a truck, enjoy the time that I have when driving it, and not have to not have to worry about what I'm gonna say, any sort of storyline, dialogue, all that kind of stuff. I just basically get behind the wheel of one of my favorite semis and get on the open road somewhere in California or Nevada or Arizona or New Mexico, as that is the only place that we can go currently in ATS. And so that's just kind of my thing, and it's not. I just have never felt comfortable, and I'm just being honest with everyone. That's really all I'm sort of doing here, is just being open and honest and saying that bringing other content to the game just doesn't really work well for me in that sort of capacity. I'm going to try to get a screenshot here. If I don't. Actually, I need to wait until I can get rid of that blue sign, and that should go away whenever he goes back to the main farm. But anyway, that's sort of the deal. That's sort of the stuff that I just kind of wanted to say, so that your expectations and everything are where they need to be, because I've always been open and honest, or I've tried to be open and honest with you all as far as what to expect from my channel. Likewise, I always try to comment and acknowledge your guys' comments and stuff like that. And if I don't always, sometimes I don't always leave a comment, but I almost always will leave a little smiley face and say, hey, this is the fact that I've recognized that you've left a note or asked, left a comment. If you ask a question, I'm gonna always answer your question, at least as best as I possibly can. But sometimes, folks will just say, nice episode, great episode, thanks for the episode, stuff like that. And especially if I'm traveling, then sometimes all I really have time to do is just sort of give the smiley face and acknowledge the fact that I've seen it. But anyway, so this game day, this will probably be. I'm not going to bore you with 2 or 3 or 6 or 20 episodes during the wheat and barley harvest. I think that most likely, I'll do this field off camera, or finish this field off camera. We're coming up on about 20 minutes, so we've got about 10 more minutes to go. I'll finish this field off camera, and then most likely get courseplay working and harvesting and everything on the other field, and then probably get a hired worker baling straw, and just provide some updates to you all as we kind of go through the wheat production process. Might do another video of harvest, but maybe doing other things, or maybe I'll have courseplay harvesting one of the other fields completely automated, and we're over here baling or picking up straw or something like that. I'll figure something out that will make sense to me and hopefully make sense to you. That's the number one goal, is to make sure that it makes sense to me. I think you guys can figure stuff out sometimes a lot easier and a lot better than I think you can figure things out as far as storylines and stuff like that goes. And my apologies, because I'm thinking that I started talking about the fact that I turned off the more realistic mod but didn't explain exactly why. Um, Mainly because that semi is an in-game semi, but that belly dump trailer is not, and it was causing all sorts of problems with moving the wheat. I did a test. I basically just did an off-camera test and didn't save the progress, and I harvested half of this field, and basically when he's full, he was struggling to get up the hill, and then when he is full, he basically races down. The speed and everything is not right, and he ends up sometimes jackknifing and causing other problems. And so, you know, I've often talked about the fact that, you know, perhaps the more realistic mod needs to somewhat be disabled by AI, because AI is not going to drive as cautiously, as carefully as we should drive. And you know, if you drive like a crazy man with the more realistic mod activated, when you're driving a tractor or a tipper or whatever the case might be, then obviously that's your own fault, and you're only causing your own problems. But you know, we can't really control how well, how carefully and everything that AI drives. And so as a result of that, then you know, we could end up losing some crop or causing problems or whatever. And so I just deactivated it. That's the plain and simple truth, is that, you know, it's one of those things where I think it's a wonderful mod, and I appreciate the folks that have worked very, very hard to create that, and to have it perform, or to have that mod cause FarmSim 17 to perform a little more realistic. But you know, I think that there comes a time that you know, there comes a time that perhaps the thought of a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig at the end of the day. And I'm not calling FarmSim 17 a pig by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just using that as an example. And so there he goes. So he is headed off, and he's even struggling to make it up the hill without the more realistic mod. He just really couldn't do it at all with the more realistic mod. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and let's see. We'll turn this guy here around, and then we'll go follow. There goes the train over there in the distance. So we'll turn this guy around so that we can follow. We'll ride along with the semi there in just a moment, and I'll show you how that works. Hopefully he works the way he did during rehearsals. I'm sure I'm probably the only YouTuber that does rehearsals, and really and truthfully, because of some of the enhancements of courseplay, I wanted to sort of familiarize myself with things. It had been, and also because I have been playing Thornton Farm. That's really the only map that in recent time that I've done any harvest with. But as I've talked about, you know, the fields are so small, and the roadways and everything are also quite small, and so it's kind of hard to do a fully automated courseplay you know, situation and everything with on Thornton Farm. I mean, it could be done, I'm sure, but there may be some problems or whatever. But anyway, this is really the first time that I have done this to this level, and in quite a while. And so we will get rid of that, and he should dump there. And as you can tell, I had to go with the belly dump simply because the other tipper type trailer would interfere with the chute and cause all sorts of problems. Now, the interesting thing is, though, that some sell points we're going to have to use a tip type trailer to be able to sell product there. So we're probably going to have to own two different types of trailers on this map, unfortunately, but that's okay. That's fine. That's That's easily doable. So he is coming up on 82%, so we're going to head over here and go ahead and empty him. And I know the grain auger basically holds a whole lot more grain than what I've been filling it up to, but I've been just kind of wanting to keep some action going on the screen for you all, regardless of whether I'm emptying the combine or driving over and emptying the auger into the belly dump grain trailer. There would otherwise be a little bit of possibly standing around doing nothing if we didn't do it that way. Well, today in the real world it is the 27th of January, and today is going to be grout day. Today is going to be grout the fireplace day. We have been not necessarily putting that off, but we have, I guess this will be the fourth weekend that we've worked on the fireplace tile project. The first weekend was the demo, getting all the old stuff torn off. The second weekend was actually laying the tile, putting the new tile down. That also included installing new backer board, that cement board and stuff. And then the third weekend was kind of, I think I only worked on the fireplace maybe 2 hours, an hour and a half or something like that. I basically put up the baseboard trim and a few other trim pieces around the fireplace. And then this weekend, this would be the fourth weekend. This will be the weekend where hopefully it'll all be done. At least the fireplace will be done, the grout will be done, and then it's just basically just a few minor finishing touches. My wife has been sort of painting this particular room as I've been doing some of the other work in the room, and so I think everything is pretty much coming together. I think there might be just a little bit of stuff that needs to be done after the grout gets done and dries, of course, and everything. And then I've got to get busy because I've had some pretty decent post-Christmas sales in my Etsy shop. I haven't really talked about that much on the channel, but I've sold several pens and sold several cutting boards, and so I need to spend some time in the shop basically replenishing, rebuilding everything that I've sold. With Valentine's Day coming up, I'm sort of hopeful that will hopefully cause some folks that will need to go out and do some shopping. So just as a friendly reminder, maybe a little nudge, if you are looking for something for your significant other, or if you're in need of a pen for yourself or a cutting board for yourself, or I've got some new coaster sets that I introduced in 2018 that I haven't really talked about. Those are out there, and so yeah, so take a look at that. I think the link is still in my notes, in the show notes down below the video. If not, just comment and I will post the link to my Etsy shop for you to see there. And so yeah. All right, well, I'm going to start wrapping things up because we are coming up on 30 minutes here in the video. And again, I'm not sure why this straw piles up this way. This was more or less the same experience that I had with grass over on the other field. The mower would mow the grass and it would put out the nice windrows for a little while, and then all of a sudden it would stop. It would cut the grass would be gone, and then all of a sudden the tractor would sort of rear up on one side and this huge amount of grass would come out from underneath the mower deck on that field, and it's looking like it's doing the same thing. Now, for the record, this is the original version of the map that I was given. This map is, of course, officially available for everyone, and the link to it is on my mod spreadsheet if you're interested. So it's sort of my own fault in a way that I'm not playing the officially released version or the same version that you're playing. So if there are little issues here and there, that's my fault. I didn't want to take the risk of basically installing the new version of the map over the old version of the map without restarting the game, and I didn't want to take the time to do that. So again, my own fault, so to speak. But let me go ahead and take everything that he's got there. But anyway, that is what it is. But you know, this will be the only this field and probably the barley field will be the only two fields that we're gonna be worrying about harvesting the straw off of. I think that between this field and the barley field, I think that we will have enough straw to get through what we need to basically be able to get through, and that is the rest of summer, fall, and winter, of course, for our animals. Oops. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're a little bit over time here, 33 minutes, so I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Thank you so much for coming back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel and watching my Farm Sim 17 content. Really looking forward to 19 and everything that it will offer us, and hopefully we'll all start to learn a little bit more about what all that entails. But until then, until more information is put out, all we can really do is speculate, I suppose. But again, I appreciate you guys watching my series. I hope that you will return again for another video, either here on Midtown USA, Tazewell County, or for a limited time over on Thornton Farm. Well, thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you'll take good care of yourselves and also of each other. God bless you all, and have a good day. Bye-bye.